I'll put this up at the front. Watch this only if you have already played Inscryption or you don't care that much, because there's going to be spoilers ahead, folks. Big one. Big one. I had another game that I tried that had another one of those moments that I really wanted to talk to you about. And that game is called Inscryption. I think you might have heard of that.
I've heard of it, and there's a lot going on in Inscryption.
There is a lot going on in Inscryption. For people who are not aware, Inscryption is kind of a spooky, kind of ethereal card game. Essentially a card game. Where you have different animal cards, and you have to, like, put down squirrels and have the other animals eat the squirrels in order to get them out into the field. There's a very morbid sensibility of this, where you're playing this card game against this shadowy figure that's sitting in the corner of this room across from you. And I'm playing this game, and we're going through rounds, and I'm getting better at the general mechanics of how this game works, and that you have some extra elements off to the side, like some bonuses, power-ups that you can utilize, playing this game back and forth. There's this one moment, though, that I was really surprised recontextualizes the entire game for me. And you probably know what I'm going to say.
Don't, actually. I've listened to a couple different video essays that have involved Inscryption in them, and I know a bit about it, but I have not played it, but I need to try it at some point.
Okay, so basically all you need to know is that up to this point, it is very much laid out like a regular card game. I'm seeing
Yes, it is a great illusion.
It is a great illusion, and that's what I wanted to talk to you about. You're sitting down at this table, the cards are out in front of you, your opponent is across, mostly in shadow, and the whole time you're just kind of like going, I've played this game. This makes perfect sense to me because I've played card games before. And then the shadowy figure across from you says, could you get this thing off of the shelf? Just get up and get this object off the shelf. And you're like, what? What do you mean? And it says, press this key to step away from the table.
Mm-hmm.
And you do. And you realize you are in a cabin. And that this game world is not actually contained to this board that's in front of you. And the shadowy figure is literally a figure in the shadow of the corner of this cabin. And there's more cabin around. And as you move through this cabin, yes.
So did you know about this before you went into it?
Nope. Knew nothing about this. It was not presented to me. I had not seen any of this in any medium.
No.
No.
The only time you would know about this is if you listen to video essays that talk about it and then say spoilers for...
Right.
So also, spoilers for Inscryption.
I'll put a spoiler warning at the beginning, yeah.
Yeah, please do. For this one especially, it's a fairly newer game.
Yeah.
Side note, Nathan...
Yes.
Inscryption also has an ARG that goes with it.
I'm sure it does.
Kind of like the game Buckshot Roulette does.
Also, I'm sure it does.
Yeah. Anyways, please go on.
But now that we've explained this one thing, it is a very interesting thing because I was so surprised by how that juxtaposition really changed how I felt about the game. It really changes my overall perception of the game, because when I start out, it's like, yeah, I understand the contents at the confines of the game world. And then
like, this is a card battler.
This is the confines of the game. This is where I am. And then they decide to open it up and show you there's more to the game than that. That this is an element inside of... There's a lot more to the game than this. And there's something about almost the Plato's cave element of this, of like, you know, that you're in Plato's cave where you're playing this game, and then they say, oh no, there's a whole cabin around you right now that you have to explore, and you're like, wow, my universe just expanded greatly. Yeah. And you're walking around this cabin, and the eyes of this shadow figure that you can't quite see the face of is always watching you. everywhere you go in the cabin. And you're fully aware, glad we put the spoiler warning up because I'm going to give you another one, is that if you do fail in this game, you essentially die and another competitor goes into your place with the death card that you have made from your playthrough. This is like the roguelike element of you putting together your death card, and then the next opponent comes in where the shadowy figure is kind of like going, a new competitor has stepped into the ring. Maybe you will do better than the last one. The last one didn't make it as far as this. With the other element that was really interesting, which is where the cards start talking to you. Where the stoat, especially, is like, listen, we gotta get out of here. This guy's insane. You gotta help me out. Look, go over to this drawer. Go over here. I have somebody who might be able to help us. And so now the elements kind of, kind of stack on top of each other, where nothing is as it seems. And this whole thing keeps getting recontextualized in a much larger fashion, so that you realize that, no, this is not really just about this card game. And that one moment, really, where you step back and you just, are in that cabin, is incredibly effective at reframing this game world.
Did you finish Inscryption?
No, I have not.
Are you planning to finish Inscryption?
I think so. I think I'm going to try finishing Inscryption.
Because at this point you've gone, okay, it went from a simple card battler to holy...
Yeah, but see, that was also one of the reasons why I stepped away from it. Because it kind of freaked me out a little bit. It kind of freaked me out a little bit, where I felt very comfortable in the game world that it was presenting to me at the beginning. Yeah. And then I felt very uncomfortable when it got out. And now, thinking about going back to it, it's like, I don't know. Now it feels like something else that I was not planning on, and that there's a significant amount to it beyond the initial impression that I had.
I hope that means you will go back to it and you will try to finish it, because I don't know if I know the ending to it. And there are a bunch of hidden aspects to it as well. Try not to watch any video essays on it if you can help it.
Right.
But I think it warrants actually going in and playing to the end, for sure.
Yeah. I can imagine that there's more to it than I even know about from this. But I was just very impressed with that very small thing, or seemingly very small thing, that really changes the way that you perceive the game and interact with it. It's still grid-based, you're still kind of walking in certain places, but the whole time I felt very conscious about trying to keep eyes on the character in the corner, knowing how dangerous that character is, as I'm trying to look at different elements in the thing. And it's very effective as really horror, more than anything else. And very impressive the way that they did that.
I'm wondering, for me, since I have a hard time getting immersed in games, the same way a lot of people do, I'm wondering how effective it would be on me.
I really don't know, but I can say that even if I kind of knew that was going to happen, I think it would have still been pretty effective. If I was aware that there's more to the game, it definitely was more effective not knowing that was going to happen. But I think that it's still, when you feel it, when you see it, it really is interesting how it changes your perception of the game. It's sort of like if you were playing Witcher 3, but they started you off playing Gwent. And you're sitting down at the table playing Gwent, and you're under the impression that that's the game, and then you step away, and the whole Witcher 3 world is out there past it. This big change of juxtaposition. No, I think Inscryption does a really good job of that, and, if you have not played it before, hopefully you didn't watch this.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
We're going to have a massive spoiler thing at the beginning of the spoilers for Inscryption.
If you've been out there and played Inscryption, please let us know in the comments down below. And if you had a personal like, what were your gut feelings when that moment comes in? I'm wondering how everybody else took it. Let me know in the comments down below.